Good evening, everyone. We'd like to call this meeting to order. It is 6 p.m. We'd like to welcome you to tonight's Speaker Board of Education meeting, April 14th, 2025. My name is Jeffrey Benson, and I will be presiding over the meeting tonight. The first item, or the first order on the agenda, is to approve the agenda as presented.
Marcus Ryder, move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? We have no other discussions. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion passes 4-0. All right. Next item is pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence, please. Makes sense. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes for March 17th, 2025. I believe 3 of us were present. So I will need a motion. Marcus.
Marcus Ryder, second.
Motion in a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion passes 3-0. All right, we don't have any public participation. All right, next item on the agenda is the superintendent's communication.
Well, I will be brief because I have the pleasure tonight of introducing some guests. So let's just say we've got 4 days until spring break. We can do it. Actually had a motion tonight to have the board meeting outdoors, but unfortunately, I'm not sure technology would allow that at this point. But we're looking forward to that. And the last thing I'll say is before tonight's meeting, I had our quarterly community outreach council. And we had a nice discussion about the property reassessment. And then they gave me feedback on a communication plan for the community. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Quincy Allen, who is our JD teacher at the high school, and he is going to make the more formal introductions for students and other esteemed guests.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Quincy Allen. I'm a JDG teacher over here at Seaford. This is my 5th year. This is actually super exciting for me. In the last 5 years, we've had the opportunity to take the students to 3 national competitions, clearly indicating just how serious we are over there with JDG. I have Bryce McFarland and Luca Ambrosino, 2 special kids of mine that are finally achieved their goal of being able to go to the nationals. Let me just very quickly and briefly give you the background with them. They started this 3 years ago, and the presentation they had wasn't too up to par, and they placed 3rd in the nation. I mean, in 3rd in the state, I'm sorry. And then last year, you know, we went back to the drawing board, came up with different ideas, and then they placed 2nd. So they were pretty disappointed. But the fun fact is, I'm gonna say the 2nd day of school this year, they were right in my face. Hey, we wanna go ahead and get this thing started. I know, I'm like, it's not until February. But that's just how serious and passionate they were. And through literally just humbling themselves, being able to take constructive feedback, me literally giving them more advice, but it's their work, so I can't do everything for them. And they place first, finally. And so this is a great story to be able to place third, second, and first. But then also to see that these two gentlemen that I've had since freshman year are also leading us, they're getting ready to go off to their respective universities as well. So with that being said, I would like to introduce you to Luca Ambasino and Bryce McFarland.
This one. Do we want to stand over here?
You're fine, on your post, don't wait.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Luke Emersino and this is
Bryce McFarland, and we are Memory Lane Driving.
Okay.
This is our table of contents, what we're gonna be going over. Yeah, so if you reside in Delaware, you're presumably used to the phrase, what are we gonna do around here? Time and time again, we've had to say nothing, because we're in Delaware. As Delawareans, we sat and thought, what can we use, or what can we do in this area that's so monotonous? So we decided to put something in the hub of Delaware, which is Carrington. We wanted to share this driving movie theater that we haven't seen in a long time, so buckle up and take a drive with us and to drive into memory lane.
Me and Luca are both entrepreneurs invested in the future. We want to see this community come together as a whole and stop violence, stop the arguing. Come together and join us at Memory Lane. Let's have a fun time out there. All right, so the ask is going to be $52,000 for 12% equity in our business. Along with 12% equity, you will receive a 2% compensation on every ticket sold for a year. This ranges to 20 cents per ticket. So this is a secure investment as you're getting your money back guaranteed. Investments would skyrocket our production and possibly expansion. So we look forward to your possible investment.
Yes.
All right, so this is just a brief 3D model of our layout of what the business is gonna look like as you're walking in. We have a sky view, a side view, and a front view. Projector box, the screen, concession stands and bathrooms are gonna be over here to the left. And the 100-car space is gonna be right there. Super big TV screen or projector screen, projector room over here. And then, yep, that's about it. Okay. And so, right to this one. Next slide. All right.
Next slide.
They have 10 minutes for competition. You all have 10 minutes.
So this is something we pride ourselves on is our menu and our concession stand. We know at our other competitors, they don't have the prices that we have. You go to Regal, for example, and you say, dang, $14 for a bucket of popcorn? What are they thinking? Instead, we got a whole kid's basket for $7. We have the retro snacks like root beer float, things you haven't seen in a long time that you can't get at our competitors. We also have a mock flyer here, 7 days a week. We're open from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. 3 movies a night with a 100-car lot. That's 300 cars max that we're pulling in. We show every type of movie so that we have a very broad range of customers. We also have 2 different prices. We have 13 and under, which is our kids ticket, which is $5. And then we have our adult ticket, which is 13 and plus, which is $10.
And of course, because there's children involved, there's no alcohol on the premises. So I want to make sure that this is a safe, kid-friendly environment for everyone to enjoy.
You'll see what's up with our QRL code later when we show you our website that we actually made.
Next slide. Next slide.
All right, so this is going to be our website. If you click on that link, please. We created a website that curates our drive-in theater. As you can see here, when he clicks accept, there'll be an icon that shows up where you can ask me or Luca any questions you have about our business. You can ask what time you open, what kind of snacks do you have at your theater, what movies are playing, if you haven't seen it already in our website. All right, can you scroll down, please?
Make sure about talking to you.
All right, so as you can see, this is our current selection of movies. We got ones for old movie lovers, thriller. We got some things for the kids, such as the Ghostbusters, and then we got Back to the Future for those who like that retro theme.
And Friday the 13th for horror fanatics.
Okay. a little bit about us. We got our history, our facility, our offerings, okay? And then we also have snapshots from our lovely patrons that have visited Drive-In to Memory Lane. Okay? We got our menu price, tickets, stuff like that. And then radio rental. We have a radio rental system. It's gonna be $5 to actually rent the radio, $20 deposit just in case anything happens. You get your $20 back when you drive through, and all is well.
And we also have this carload, which is basically an easier way for us to make profit and for you guys to pay. So if you have, say, 6, 7 people in a whole van or a truck, and you just want to pay by the carload, it's gonna be $25, and you can have a whole lot to your guys itself. And it'll be just easier for us to pay attention to you guys, as we have like a system where you can do a QR code or a receipt, email, and then we can scan it, know that it's got a carload, and know that it's gonna be one lot for all of you.
Speaking of that QRL that we talked about earlier, when referring to that, we are currently creating an online mobile app where you can buy your tickets online. Or if you'd like, if you're older and you don't know how to buy online, if you don't know how to buy online, we also accept cash or debit card or credit at our vendor. So there's is Driving to Memory Lane.
Did you know that there was a drive-in there?
There used to be, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me 22 cents a ticket if I'm in.
22 cents a ticket. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you.
Competing in Indianapolis. During spring break. Awesome. And they will be representing Delaware, and other affiliates of Jobs for America's graduates will be competing as well. So we're taking a whole cohort from across the state, but I'm not supposed to be, but I'm partial to the Blue Jays. I'm very proud of them for what they presented. And additionally, Mr. Luca Ambrosino was awarded the William B. King Community Service Award.
Luca is also our first state officer from Seaford.
Spring break.
While we're on spring break, we'll be looking for.
So basically, FIFA just swept the competition. I mean, like we just.
Almost. I was very proud.
Yeah, I am too. Your credit to us. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, folks.
So we'll keep you posted of how well we do, because, and if we get it this year, we get a link of the final, awards ceremony, so I'll share that link and you can watch it while I'm watching, because we've got a whole cohort going, so.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
That's, all right, next item on the agenda is board communication. Mr. Wright, you got anything to report?
No, so we didn't already do that. There was no meeting this month
Okay.
because we had the national conference.
Yeah, did you want to report anything from Atlanta?
No.
No?
No, as always, it was a great time of fellowship, a great time of learning. You know, all of us went well, with the exception of Dr. Savage. You know, I stayed there, see that dinner and sat there and showed her that, you know, we missed you. But, you know, we learned a lot, and I think we became a better board because of it. We are already plotting and planning for next year in San Antonio. So, we're getting our boots and our buckles ready, because we are, I'm believing that we're gonna have to be presenting next year.
Yes.
Do we have a name for that yet?
We do, I don't remember what it is, but it's out there. So let's make sure we get that on the calendar now.
I forget the exact date, but it's around the same time.
And we are considering submitting to do a presentation or kind of a panel discussion is what we brainstormed to be able to talk about how the successes of a school district are kind of predicated on the trust and collaboration between a school board and a superintendent. That it's a two-way conversation and advice and trust and then what do we do to make those things happen? So it'll be fun, stay tuned.
Awesome. All right, moving right along. The next item on the agenda is GBA Equal Opportunity Employment Policy. Mr. Cameron, you got the floor.
Yes, Dr. Benson. So the policy is part of our review and there's nothing changing to the policy, so there'll be no vote need to be taken here. It's just that we can mark down reviewed. If you recall, when you look into this, it was adopted in '73 and revised a couple times, but we don't know by looking at it now if anybody's discussed it in the last, bit of time, last 16 years. So that's one of the reasons in our whole policy review that we're doing that. If we don't change anything, we're adding review to it so that people can see, hey, yes, they did look at it in the last X so many years. So there's no change to this. However, when we present, we'll probably bring in some regs with GBA-R in a future meeting, but this is the first piece to let you know why, that we reviewed it and there's no changes to it at all.
So that date will change, so the new one, if we see it again, to have at the revised part of the new date.
It'll be reviewed underneath that because it wasn't revised and it'll have today's date.
So we don't need 3 readings, we just need 1.
Correct, because there's no changes to it, you're just approving that it was reviewed and we go on.
So it's the next one. All right. So we have action item. The recommended action is to approve the first review of GBA Equal Opportunity Employment Policy as presented.
Mark Strutter, I move to approve the first review of GBA Equal Opportunity Employment Policy as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that action passes 4-0. Next item on the agenda is curriculum and instruction, and Dr. Jeanette has the floor.
Thank you, Dr. Benson. We wanted to give you some updates from the curriculum and instruction department. We have been really busy this year and wanted to share some of that information with you. So at our elementary schools, we are continuing with our implementation of bookworms and illustrative mathematics. Nothing has changed there. New this year, we started doing some intentional small group planning for math using post-test or pre-test and post-test to identify gaps that students might have. And we were utilizing Amplify Mathematics, small group lessons that they have, and we aligned them to where they would fit in our illustrative math. So Amplify and illustrative mathematics are similar curricula. Amplify took illustrative mathematics and amped it up, as they talk about it. So we decided to use some of their small group lessons to fill in some gaps for students. And Ms. Boyce has been working with teachers in PLCs to identify that information. For bookworms, we really wanted to get away from saying make the lesson your own, because everything is in the curriculum the way that it is intended to be in the curriculum, and we didn't want teachers changing that. But we have spent some time this year doing a process called lesson internalization. So they have the lesson plan, but where are they going to make strategic moves? Which students are they going to target based off of what data? How are they going to be partnering students up? How are they going to make the lesson come alive for their students without changing the lesson plans? And then something that we're trying this year that we're really excited about. We've been talking a lot about the middle school making changes for based off of the elementary. And now we've kind of shifted that a little bit and said, hey, elementary, can you take on some of that ownership for us? So one of the things that we're doing this year, there's a change from the model in bookworms in elementary school to middle school. So in elementary, they do a lot of choral reading and then partner reading of the text. In the middle school, it's much more independent, and we're using a 3-group model based off of student needs there. So some students are reading with the teacher, some students are reading with a partner, and some students are reading independently with a reading guide. We're implementing that model in the last shared reading book in 5th grade this year, and the teachers were really excited about it. We felt like that way our 5th grade teachers would know what the expectations were in the middle school, as well as they have the students all day long and they have a trust and relationship with those students by the end of the year. So let's build those routines in from 5th grade going over to 6th grade. So it's not all new to them in 6th grade. So that's something that we're doing this year. All right, so in the middle school, we're continuing our implementation of bookworms. One of the things that's new this year is bookworms intensive for identified students. And what that basically is some vocabulary instruction and rereading or previewing of text that they would be seeing in their English classroom, in their ELA classroom. So really trying to give them the skills that they need so that they can be successful with that tier 1 instruction. And that's something that is new this year. We're starting it this year. We want to expand upon it for next year because we're starting to have some success with that. We are changing our math curriculum for grades 6 through 12 next year. We are switching to the Amplified Desmos math. Can we click on the pizza activity there? Will it let you? It's not letting you. It's not, okay, never mind. The pizza activity is about ratios. And so the Amplified program has some technology built into it that illustrative math doesn't. So the students go on their Chromebook, they get to design their own pizza. They get to put how much pepperoni they want, how much tomatoes, how much onions, and then it kind of lets them play with that, and then they start applying that to some ratios. So if you need this much for 2 pizzas, how much would you need for 4 pizzas? And the students get to play around, and it actually animates it for the students so that they get to see it in real time. To see, and then they can estimate, and if they get it wrong, they can change their answer. The teacher has a giant dashboard, so the teacher can also see students interacting with the computer. So it's not just a sprint sitting there working on the computer and I never know what she's doing. As the teacher, there's a dashboard, and so we can see that activity. And it's also a situation where they can also take their assessments right on there, and it gives us a data analysis piece for that as well. So we're really excited about that. This year, we've also increased our CTE opportunities at our middle school, including a teacher academy there. So we're really excited about that. We've been doing some work. I was down with Mr. Cave the other day, and he had just talked to the teacher academy students, talking to them about possibly becoming teachers and staying in Seaford and building our network and pipeline.
And if I could add in there, we worked together on this because of what Dr. Nick just said in regards to the pipeline. And so we had one section of it this year, but we're
Yep.
full-fledged CTE with the funding and everything goes along with it next year. And we are purposely targeting some of our, for lack of, I guess, our underserved of our population that we don't see in education. So African-American males and a lot of our Hispanic students, we are purposely looking to try to guide them into that program. And in regards to grow your own, is try to build a pipeline in that stretch. So we have a lot of strategicness going on with what we're doing this. And I think only the second middle school teacher academy in the state. So we're really excited about what this leads to. Obviously, when you're starting in 6th grade, there's some lag time until we get the results. But, you know, there's short-term goals and long-term goals. We're really hoping this leads to some stuff on that side.
Our middle school was recently identified for school improvement by the state, in the area specifically of special populations, so our special education students. The good news to that is we had already identified that as a need in our district. So that was not something that we were unaware of. We had already done the work. So when we met with the DOE representatives, they said, you know, well, you need to start planning your plan. And we were like, we already have our plan. We already knew that this was a problem and an area of growth for us. So we had already started working on that. And Mr. Cade and I and Dr. D and Ms. Hastings were having a lot of collaboration between our departments, which is really exciting and something that doesn't always happen in school districts. So we are going to be partnering with the University of Delaware. They have a cohort of middle schools that are getting together and working over the next couple of years together. So hopefully brainstorming and learning from other neighbors in the state is also something that we're looking forward to. We did identify professional learning opportunities for teachers as something that we wanted to focus on. So we have some things happening for next year, but exciting this year, we sent a group of teachers from our middle school to the special education conference that was held in Baltimore. And Mr. Cave went with them for that. So they were also doing some planning and things while they were there, and we're very excited. One of the things that we're going to be focusing on specifically at our middle school next year, but actually across the district, is an increased access for all students to Tier 1 instruction. And so really looking at how do we provide supports so that everyone has access to that high quality instruction. At the high school, we are fully implementing the Open SciEd curriculum for science, which we had to purchase some science kits for them this year with some materials and things. So that's done. We're full on, and our teachers seem to be much more comfortable with it the second semester than they were the first semester. We are have implemented the Vista Get Ready curriculum, which is a curriculum for newcomers to our country who need some extra support in English to help them be successful. So we are doing that for targeted students. We're changing to the Amplified Desmos Math for next year. They currently are piloting in the Algebra 1 classes, and the teachers love it. We've had a lot of collaboration between our ML teacher and the English department. And actually, they're looking at doing some collaborating next year, which leads us to the strategic scheduling of multilingual learner students and where they're placed within the school day so that we can help meet their needs a little bit more strategically. One of the things that we're very excited about this year is that we increased our dual enrollment offerings through Del Tech. So we've really amped that up a lot this year. We also opened it up. There were some classes that we had to use the grade level equivalents with, but there were, for entries, some that we didn't, because we wanted to have students see themselves as college-bound students, and we felt like some of our students don't necessarily have that opportunity, and we wanted them to try it in the high school and feel success so that they perhaps might think about college differently moving forward. And we are planning to maintain those courses next year. We're going to be looking at our data and seeing how students did and which courses were most successful. But we want to keep those increased opportunities for students. And then, lastly, we are going to be doing a pilot of a world language curriculum in the fall. That was, the teachers actually asked us for some curriculum. So we went out and did some research. We're gonna pilot in the fall with the hope that if they like it, we can go to full implementation in the spring. So that's what we have going on in the world of curriculum and instruction. And Dr. Savage, we are looking at a new universal screener and progress monitoring tool that all align.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so thank you for your time. Any questions for
I
me?
just wonder what your support is. How your support is built in for students taking college classes. The support does the school offer?
Yes, so this year was kind of a new thing for us. So, Dr. Harrison and I met this morning and we were like, okay, we tried it. We learned some things. Let's look at some data and what additional things do we need to put into place for next year? Yep. So, yeah, we kind of, this morning, we were like, oh, well, we tried it and we learned. And so now we just want to improve upon it for next year. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Jeanette. We're gonna sidestep a little bit. One, we wanted to publicly honor Miss Julie Kirby on her recent. The third national award.
This is the state director, nutrition director of the year, right?
Yeah.
Years, and it was a surprise too.
It was a big surprise, and I do want to mention that Linda Harris
Yes.
at the middle school is moving on from state to Mid-Atlantic. So this is very exciting. We are very excited.
Good stuff.
Mhm.
And Mrs. Zoll, you want to tell us about your statue?
That is great.
I'm just gonna keep this with you for the next. No, just got this delivered today, so for the second year in a row, the Seaford School District was the top fundraiser for Special Olympics for the Polar Bear Plunge. This year. Everybody on the line? At our small district, we raised over 19,000. I think second place is only at like 14,000. Wow. Much bigger district than us, I won't mention second place.
Let's go Birds.
We were very excited, that we had this trophy in our possession again for a second year, and with our name engraved, as a two-time champion.
Thanks for leading the way, because I definitely got my text in there.
Actually, we're definitely going for a retreat.
No, we appreciate everything that you do, represent the district and everyone that's involved. I'll definitely send the money, but I am not.
That's all it is.
We're due for a warm year, it's been a couple of actually a year for you.
All right, thank you guys, and we're very proud of you all. All right, next on the agenda is our action items. The next recommended action item is to approve school choice applications 2025-89, 2025-90, 2025-93, 2025-94, and 2026-32, and to deny school choice applications 2025-91 and 2025-92.
Point of order. My agenda doesn't have 2025-94. Is that a change or?
Is it on your digital copy?
I'll check. As long as it's on there, we're fine.
Yeah, it's on there. I need a motion.
Until looking.
Is it correct on the digital version, however?
It's there. All the rules make me think it's probably on there.
That's my question.
No.
That was probably 89, 90, 93, 32, but 94. I'm sorry, 94, but there's it on that one.
It's the same one here.
What you were saying, Dr. Benson?
89, 90, 93. Yeah, 94.
Can we table this right now?
Yeah, you sure can, and we'll come back to it.
Motion to table.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. All right, we'll table, we'll come back to it. All right, next on the agenda is field trips. The recommended action item to approve field trips on the agenda as presented.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the field trip agenda as presented.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? That action passes 4-0. All right, facilities request. All right, we have facilities request from Focus on the Dream. The ground dates are from June 4th to August 15th, 2025. They will be hosting the event on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. The facilities requested are the middle school gym, and then they'll shift over to Greg Douglas because the middle school gym floor will be redone. This is a bi-weekly event, training kids ages 10 to 14. We spoke that it would run on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. The recommended action is to approve this particular request.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the facilities request agenda as presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? All in favor say aye. Opposed? That action passes 4-0. All right. Next item on the agenda is ADF Seaford School District Wellness Policy. Ms. Kirby, you're gonna speak to us on it?
Sure.
All right.
The wellness policy has to be reviewed and revised if needed every 3 years. And so there's only been 2 revisions, well, 3. And they're highlighted for you. Food sharing between students because of allergies, and we have a lot of kids on specialized diets now. Not so, I mean, allergies are one thing, but real specialized diets. And so sharing of the food, they're saying wanted us to put that in there to make sure that everyone was aware that it's not permitted. And foods that students prepare, because, you know, they want to, you know, bake something, bring it in, sell it, that type of thing. Have a little enterprise going on. That will need to be after school, not during school hours. And the committee, because we do this every 3 years, we've opted to remove the names and just job titles and who's invited to be on the board, on the committee, that type of thing, who's involved. So we don't have to consistently change if someone leaves or moves and that type of thing.
Okay. All right, any other questions? The recommended action is to approve the first reading of ADF, Seaford School District Wellness Policy as presented.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the first reading of ADF Seaford School District Wellness Policy as presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The action passes 4-0. Next on the agenda is GBB staff involvement in decision-making policy. Mr. Cameron?
Yes, sir. So we are, once again, we're going through all our policies, and this is the recommended change to GBB. There are a few tweaks that we made and a little bit left GBB in the policy that will kind of pick back up in the regs, because it kind of, the policy that was in place is more how we do. Some of it was more what we do with regs. So at next month's meeting, you'll see some regs that go along with this policy as we go along. So that's why we have the little bit of the change to it.
All right. Any other questions? The recommended action is to approve the first reading of GBB, staff involvement in decision-making policy as presented.
Michael Strawn, I move to approve the first reading of GBD staff involvement in decision-making policy as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The action passes 4-0. All right, next item on the agenda is JIVA, student government policy, and Mr. Zoll.
Yeah, there's just two policies I have today, both have not been updated for a very long time. Student government was last updated in 1989, which is quite a long time ago. So, so we just did a little bit of updating, added be open to any student at the top, so we're covering that, any students available for it. And then took some things out of the guidelines that we just do not utilize anymore. So you can kind of see what they're achieved.
I'm gonna assume that the things that we develop are student government specific and are in their constitutional bylaws, so they don't need to be in our document.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions? All right, recommended action is to approve the first reading of JIVA, student government policy as presented.
Michael Strawn, I move to approve the first reading of GRBA, student government policy as presented.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The action passes 4-0. Next item on the agenda is JI student rights and responsibility policy.
And this is another one that has not been updated since 1993. We didn't change too much. The last page has the changes to it. And we just took out some specific information that's really not needed in there. Added that all clubs must have a staff sponsor to them, just so you have someone. And again, just putting things out that we don't follow.
All right. Any questions from the group? The recommended action is to approve the first reading of JI student rights and responsibility policy as presented.
Michael Strawn, I move to approve the first reading of JI student rights and responsibilities policy as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The action passes 4-0. All right, moving right along. We're moving to FY 25 Assistant Chief Custodial Staff or salary schedule, Mr. Patches Hill.
So this here is being added in the highlighted yellow. We did that so that you see that that's all we're requesting the change of. Everything else is staying the same. What we're doing is we do have a night employee that comes in, and what we're going to do is create that is what we call the assistant chief scale. The state created the assistant chief and put it in the budget bill for FY 25. We've actually never implemented on it. So the thought here is that we implement on it and replace the person that does work at night in the assistant chief slot. There will only be one, there won't be six for the 6 buildings. And what will happen is that person will really have oversight. Now, if you heard earlier about the pipeline, the idea is to create also a pipeline that allows them to move up through the ranks within the building of being, night custodian, day custodian, and then go up to assistant chief and through that process. So we've had some successes with that. By implementing this too, what you'll also see is that we kept the local is actually staying the same. So what will end up happening is this position will be a net increase from what it was, but that's on the state side because the local side will end up staying the same. So, any questions?
I just want to add, there used to be a fireman position that was literally to keep the fire burning when that's what we had to worry about in the building. Since we don't have to worry about it anymore. This was the change the state did, as Pat just said, in regards to implementing this in the bond right or budget in 25.
In 25.
And so we're looking at this pipeline. This person will have some supervisory rules. So this, the assistant chief, hopefully it leads into the chief position, just like we're talking about pipeline and everything else. They will start with the supervision of doing some We have a floater that works for us. If you remember, we kind of changed that before, so the floater, they will oversee the floater because they'll work pretty much the same shift. And also we'll start doing some evaluations of high school custodians because that is our biggest allotment of custodians in the district to give Chuck a little bit of support and also train them at the same time and eventually do the same thing with the middle school is kind of the plan in place because most elementaries just have 2 at night versus the high school, middle school, which have a lot more than that.
So does the building chiefs of each school, our 6 schools, report to the assistant chief or they report to Doug?
No, they report to Mr. Henry. So, and they'll work kind of together, in that essence, but the assistant chief is below a chief in that sense.
Yeah.
The hope is that through this position that we're grooming somebody to be our next chief.
In the building?
In the building, yes.
Understood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in the building.
Yeah.
Alright. So you got Ms. Hill for this one?
That was it.
Alright. The recommended action is to approve FY25 assistant chief custodian salary schedule as presented.
Marcus Shard, I move to approve the FY25 assistant chief custodian salary schedule as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? The action passes 4-0. Financial report.
All right, operating unit expenses, as of month end, we were at 75.1% of the fiscal year with a total of 65.86% expended. And when sitting within comfort, we go up to 71.5. Again, you see some cost centers that have been hovering at the higher end of that, but they are staying constant, so there's no real worries there. And they'll be receiving the memo tomorrow that coming early May, that we will be shutting down any additional POs as part of the shutdown process they go through every year. So I don't envision any operating unit issues at this time. So, any questions? No? Questions? Tax collection, it is continuing, and one of the things that I've been highlighting, this was not a 98% goal anymore, but we have exceeded that 98% as of this month. So we got what we normally plan for. We do hope to get it to 100%, and we are currently, let me see here, the collection at 115 with about 30K in delinquent. In past years, as I presented last month, I think at the 4-month mark, we were roughly at 150, was it 150? Overall, we are at 153, 223 left, but we brought in just 4 months last year, 142,000. And we still have the senior property tax and disabled veterans credit that will come in. So I don't envision us having any issues meeting our 100% target either. So any questions on that? All right. Set asides are holding constant. We may need to tap some of these just as we go through some of the renewal of some of the technologies and such coming up. But what we plan to do, and you'll see our financial position report is replenish those. So we want to use these, of course, as needed. But if we would then have to take out of some of the savings to put it back, and it's really just shifting stuff around. But everything is still holding constant at 2.9 million. Any questions there? Good. All right, monthly revenue. Overall receipts today are at just over, if you go all the way to the bottom, roughly at 59 million. Transportation, cafeteria, and state salaries are where we still anticipate a large amount coming in. And that's the areas that you see that are showing us off slightly. That's no real concern because again, these are the state sides of those salaries and the transportation and those items as well as cafeteria. There's a large amount of cafeteria still to come in. And that's normal. It's how it works every year. So any questions on that?
When I hear you say coming in from the state to us.
Yes, yes, sir.
So what, with the new regime, or we got any doubt, anything's gonna happen there? We don't foresee any problems.
Scroll down, Mr. Cameron. That would be on the federal side most likely. And as of right now, it looks like things will shift from who has responsibility of the 3.9 million we get in federal funds. But we don't yet anticipate any loss, but again, that's still to be determined.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right. Do you want me to present the financial position and then you vote, or do you want to vote separately? How do you want?
You can present, we still have to vote separately.
Yeah, that's fine. Financial position report. You will see, remember we do these 4 times a year. I think the key thing here is that this number is going up and continues to go up. So that's a good thing. What that means is that right now, I think last year at this time, we were at 9.1 and now we're at 9.8. So that's a positive thing for this to continue to go up. That means our operating monies are basically increasing. Overall, that's something to be proud of. Seaford's is in good fiscal standing. Again, what we've said in the past is that, in this situation, what will end up happening, at some point, we will start to go the opposite direction. We're not at that point yet, but we will get to that point at some time. And then we'll just start eating into this until the money goes down, and then we have to go out to a referendum, and that's the things that we hope. The hope is with the changes in the funding for across the state, that there'll be a different model at some point before we get to there to hopefully relieve some of the pressures that would be forthcoming. But the good news is that we're not there yet, and we're sitting really nice right now as a district, and I think it's something to be proud of where we stand. So this has to be presented quarterly. It's gone up slightly since last month, but the key point here is to every year compare this year over year to the prior one to see where we're actually sitting, because what this takes into consideration is different things at different times of the year, so that you can look over time how the school district's performing. Any question?
No. For Dr. Savage, for the record. For the record, what you're saying is he was in a great financial position at this time. However, eventually we may have to go to referendum years coming.
It's some point that would, it has to happen. It's just the way the model is.
Life cycle.
Yeah.
We're hoping for referendum reform and a lot of other things, but that's all dictated at the state level, and I think it's all still, still trying.
Awesome. All right. We'll start with 7.9, financial reports. The recommended action is to approve the financial reports as presented.
Marcus Shredder, move to approve the financial reports as presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The action item passes 4-0. We'll move to 7.10, the financial position report. The recommended action is to approve the financial position report as presented.
Marcus Shredder, move to approve the financial position report as presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The action passes 4-0.
Mr. President,
Sir.
motion to that we, what's the proper terminology?
Revisit.
That we remove the school choice applications from the table and put it before the board.
All right. Have a motion? Second?
Yes, second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? All right, that passes 4-0. So we're going back to the school choice. The recommended action, you got the information or you following your? Okay.
It's been updated.
All right. So the recommended action is to approve school choice applications 2025-89, 2025-90, 2025-93, 2025-94, and 2026-32, and to deny school choice application 2025-91 and 2025-92.
Marcus Shredder, move to approve the school choice applications 2025-89, 2025-90, 2025-93, 2025-94, and 2026-32, and to deny school choice applications 2025-91 and 2025-92.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The action passes 4-0. Thanks much. All right, moving to our long range agenda. There's a lot there in DMV. I am not gonna read all that. But I will, point out that we do have, some assemblies. We have honor roll, well, let me digress. We have the Light It Up Blue Autism Awareness
It's
Event
actually right now.
that's going on right now. So we'll hurry up so you can go support.
That's from safety.
We do have the honor roll and perfect attendance assemblies tomorrow, at the middle school. And then we have family fun night, at Blaze Elementary at 5:30. Spring break next week. And so then we have School Bus Appreciation Day on the 22nd, Administrative Professionals Day on the 23rd. And then school reopens on the 28th. And then we will have multicultural night at 6 p.m. at the middle school, which is always a great thing to attend. Food is good. Yes.
Upon our personal privilege, I would like to highlight the National Junior Honor Society induction.
All right.
First, thank you very much.
Sorry. Do we have someone being highlighted there?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. All right. I like it. We have prom, where am I? May 3rd at 7 p.m. at the high school, for the high school at Ross Station. If you don't know where Ross Station is, it's right across the street from the J's house.
Is there still a fee for Grand March? Is it still $5? Is it a fundraiser?
Oh, I don't know. I can find out.
Did you see a junior fundraiser?
Okay.
Used to be.
I will look into that, I'll let you know.
All right, and then we're gonna wish all of our mothers a happy Mother's Day early. We have a Mother's Day tea, West Seaford at 1 p.m. on May 9th. And then you get to see us all again on May 12th for our monthly school board meeting at 6 p.m. All right. Next item, recommended item, our action is to enter into executive session to discuss legal and personnel matters.
Want to start with into executive session?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? The action passes 4-0. We're entering into executive session and the time is 6:56 p.m. Thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it. Yeah.